Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're an international student planning to come and study in the UK, this video is for you. Today I'll share some tips on how to adjust to life in the UK, save money, and what important things to keep in mind, and also how to stay safe. So remember to watch all the way till the end. If you're new, I'm Ashika, and I talk about moving across the world to work or study, and with that, let's dive in. Moving to a new country can be both exciting and challenging, but there's a high possibility life will not be what you're used to, so you'll have to make some adjustments. Here are some tips to make the transition smoother. Every region in the UK has its own unique vibes, so take time to explore the local culture, whether it's through local events, food, or even chatting with the locals. People in the UK are generally polite, and things like queuing are very important. Here you'll find queues for everything from paying at the supermarket to driving. No one cuts queues, and you're not expected to either. Small courtesies like please and thank you go a long way. Another thing is speaking loudly in public. Unlike many countries, the British do not speak loudly to each other or even over the phone, be that in a supermarket, the train, or even out on the streets. So if you do want to speak to someone, make sure you aren't too loud, and if it's over a call, use headphones. That also goes for watching videos on your phone. And also, while it's important for you to maintain your individual cultural identity, it's also important for you to remember that when you are in the UK, you are no longer in your home country. There are people who are locally from the UK, there are also people from all over the world. So while it's admirable that you miss your home country, it isn't fair to everyone else that you try and make the UK a replica of your home country. What I mean is, don't roll down your windows and blast your local music. Shut your windows and turn the volume to a decent level. Don't party till 1 a.m. when you have neighbors, and don't burst firecrackers at midnight. It's extremely disrespectful to the local people. Most universities offer a range of societies and clubs. Joining one may be a great way to meet new people, make new friends, and find a community outside your home. You should also familiarize yourself with local transport options like buses, trains, or even cycling routes, and download apps that can help with navigation like City Mapper or Google Maps. Next, living in the UK can be pricey, so here are some strategies to help you save some money. Where you stay will determine a lot of things: how much money you have left at the end of the month, how safe you feel, how much peace of mind you get at the end of the day, and how well you're able to focus on your studies. So it's important to smartly decide on student accommodation. I always recommend Amber because it's got tons of accommodation near universities, which saves you money on your commute. It's also got various options across multiple price points. Many properties don't require a local UK guarantor, and they've got a 4.6 rating on Trustpilot. And they've also got tons of ways to save money, so check this out. Remember to use the link from the description below. Next, look out for discount supermarkets like Lidl, Aldi, and Asda, which offer more affordable options. And they're even cheaper if you get yourself a loyalty card. The prices of these supermarkets change every month, so remember to check which.co.uk, which shows you the latest figures. And don't forget about student discounts. Apps like UniDays and Student Beans provide exclusive discounts for students. If you're in a big city, consider getting yourself a student discount card for trains and buses like the 1625 rail card, which gives you a third off on rail fares across the UK. And if you're Indian by any chance, there's a high chance you eat out often. But eating out regularly can add up quickly because unlike in many countries, even street food in the UK can be very pricey. Cooking your own meals not only saves a ton of money, but it's also a healthier way to live and can save you a lot. If it's still difficult to do that, consider dropping by supermarkets closer to the end of the day where you will get discounted food. Many students take up part-time jobs, which can help with expenses and provide valuable experience. Of course, check your visa restrictions first to make sure how many hours you can actually work in the UK. Now, here are some things for you to keep in mind. The UK is relatively safe, but there have been increasing incidents of phone snatching in the UK. I myself was being followed by a man in London who was likely trying to snatch my phone. Now here's the thing, it's become such a big issue that Apple, as a part of AppleCare, actually offers accidental phone theft in the UK. So while you're walking on the streets, please put away your phones. Don't carry flimsy bags that can easily be snatched away. Don't place your valuables in your backpack and carry it behind you. And avoid streets that have a reputation, especially after dark. Remember, small things can actually make a difference. Next, make sure you're aware of your visa conditions, like how many hours you can work, whether you need to register with the police, or if you have any travel restrictions. Also, most students pay an immigration health surcharge as a part of their visa, which gives you access to the NHS. However, it is a good idea to have some basic knowledge about local health services. Apart from registering with your GP, you should ideally know which is your closest A&E, which is accidents and emergencies, as not all hospitals have an emergency department. The other thing is, some hospitals have a longer wait at their A&E than others, so do that research. Next, familiarize yourself with local laws and policies, as the UK may have different rules than you're used to. This applies to things like driving, alcohol consumption, and even tenant rights if you're renting. For instance, if you have an international license and it's valid for 1 year in the UK, if you plan on staying longer, you should apply for your UK driving license well in advance because test slots are very difficult to come by. Tracking your expenses can also help you prevent overspending. Lots of banking apps like Starling allow you to keep tabs on where your money goes and identify areas where you can save. Now, as a student, it's easy to get caught up in everything happening around you. It might be your first time in the UK and there's a lot to see, a lot to do, and new friends in your life. But it's important for you not to lose track of why you're here in the first place. It's either to learn something that you couldn't learn back home or to land a job here. Here's how you can stay on track. Break down your academic goals by semester or year. Knowing what you're aiming for can make it easier to stay focused, especially when assignments and exams pile up. So if your goal is to land that job, make sure you're doing everything you can from your first week in the UK. Next, create a study schedule and stick to it. Block out specific hours for study and make sure to balance your study with the rest and recreation. You can use apps like Todoist to manage your time effectively. And if you do get a part-time job in the UK, do not let that job be at the expense of your studies, because if you do fail your course, you will be asked to leave the UK. Most universities also offer resources like libraries, tutoring centers, and even stress release workshops. Make use of them to stay on top of your studies. Now, this is really important. Almost every one of you will work at some point or the other going forward. And one of the best ways to get a job is through your network. One of the best ways of collaborating at your job with other businesses is through your network. By the time you're done with your course, you should have built a network of at least 10 solid contacts that you can reach out to in the future. And that could be either for a job or related work. And while it's important to make new friends and experiences, remember you're here to study. Keep a balance so your social activities do not overshadow your academic goals. I hope these tips were helpful and they help you find a fulfilling and stress-free time here. If this video was helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.